Intrepid viewers, welcome. Trendsetters all over the world, wherever you are, welcome to Tarot Down Under. So today, as usual, there's mountains to climb. In terms of the news, you can't take a day off because something happens, including the Yeti getting fined $1 million. Well, 999 stuff. That'll be interesting. I'm not going to read on it, but just to know, the interesting thing about it is it also includes his lawyer, and as commentators are saying, he doesn't pay his bills. And in the fine print, if he doesn't pay this, his lead lawyer is responsible for it. Oh my God, maybe I should read on it. Let's just have a quick look, and then we've got to get to the Alex Baldwin stuff. And oh my God. No, we'll have a quick look. Yeah, we all know he doesn't like paying his bills, and you can see the Yeti logic, right? He'd be saying to her, particularly if she's a woman, about her own fees, I'm not going to pay you, you lost the case. That's the Yeti rationale. So let's have a quick peek. And of course, it could be appealed. That's his standard tactic. But why it's important is it's been called a frivolous lawsuit, and the judge really went to town on the frivolous nature of this lawsuit, which I think was against Hillary and James Comey and stuff. Okay, let's have a look at this fine. Oh, well, we'll see. But, okay. This isn't the order the cards came out, but I think it's the most logical way to explain it. Here, having to make a decision, and he's fighting behind closed doors with people. What do you mean I have to pay $1 million? Okay, so this is the conflict over paying it. But the pressure's going to come down on him quite quickly about this case, I think. He'll want to move on with these are cards of moving on, right? Moving on in the boat, moving on in the chariot, moving on. Out in the cold, and I think why this has turned up, this particular card, is this is like ice melting in a glass. If there's been one judgment in law, it's a precedent for others, etc. So it's about time there was pushback on these endless, predictable, frivolous law cases. So I think he's going to be left out in the cold by lawyers. He's already down to probably the 62nd tier of lawyers. So hot potato stuff. Okay. Now, McCarthy. Obviously, as part of those last-minute deals, so he could beat his gorilla chest. Apologies to any gorillas who are watching. But this, thing about having to get elected at any price, including their first action as a Congress, smoking in the building. Awesome. They're onto it. So he has put MTG and Bobert and the stupid Paul Gosar. He's the one whose whole family actually took out television ads, I think, or at least newspaper ads saying, do not vote for our son, our brother, our cousin, because the guy is a cretin, right? That Paul Gosar. And Scott Perry, who should be in jail. And he's put them all on the oversight committee. Now, Putting them together is interesting. Let's see if there's anything in that. In other news, of course, before I get to that, Santos has been put on two committees. Science, shows how much the GOP think of science, and small business. Really? He's in the business of ripping people off. What? It's a scandal in itself, his appointments. Okay. So MTG, Bobert and the others oversight. What can we expect to see from this? Let's have a look. Oh, major arcana. Oh. All right. So out of 5 cards, we've got 4 major arcana. Big guns. These are huge personalities. So here's the Emperor, in this case, McCarthy. I hate to even say that, but it's the strength card is here. We can't take it away. Why is the strength card here? I think it's about strength of personalities. Normally, this is a card of inner strength, but when you look at the profiles of these people, you have to search and grope for another interpretation. And so it could be the strength of their egos. But, I just had a flash. The Fool, well, yes, there's no shortage of those in this lineup. And Judgment, they will be judged for this, but I just got a flash. He did it because he wants to confine them. He knows they're absolutely hopeless at core business, right? He knows that. So he's put them in there to make a fool of them. So by keeping them in one committee, they can just cannibalize each other and stay out of other people's hair. Oh my God. Judgment. Maybe it's not such a foolish act on his behalf. They are the foolish people. There's a certain rationale there. Curious or what? Wow. Now, speaking of curious, the Yeti came out. I don't know what platforms left to him, but he came out and said the GOP should not, under any circumstances, attack Medicaid, is it? Medicaid or Social Security. No, the Yeti said that. Now, it's not his idea. Someone's in his ear, because it is a stupid idea, because so many of their voters are dependent on these benefits, which they have earned over a lifetime. But why? Why did Trump say this? Why did Trump say that? It's very weird. Why would the Yeti say that? It's sensible, it's humane. I'm completely confused. I'm at a loss. Okay. 8 of Pentacles again. 4 of Pentacles, hanging on to money. Okay. Oh, all right. Here. He gets this 2 of Pentacles again. He has to make a distinction because he's under the fantasy he's still running in 2024. He has to separate himself from DeSantis, right? And he knows DeSantis will go for this as a method of saving money. But Trump has been advised that this is how you have to separate yourself. You can be the man of the people, the man who's keeping MAGA solvent, you know, that can be his thing that he runs on, which puts DeSantis actually at a distinct disadvantage. Today is full of surprises. It actually makes sense strategically. As my old dad used to say, you live long enough, you see it all. Goodness me. Now, the debt ceiling, which this case will dribble on till, I think it's June is the real deadline. So there's more time for appalling things to be suggested. So from what I understand, the GOP is demanding at least 130 billion in federal cuts for them to support the raising of the ceiling. Look, I digress. If the Dems are smart, they will point to other areas of government where cuts could be made. Where should they start? And I was thinking about this in the Australian context the other day, and it's the same thing. Corporate welfare. The Dems should lead with the idea of corporate welfare because these huge companies are subsidised everywhere, right? Should stop. And some of them, I looked this up, the companies that get the most frequent subsidies and so on in America include the following: Boeing, General Motors, Ford, Shell, Exxon, Amazon, and Apple. So this is a case. Look, if only the Dems would get off their high horses, corporate Dems, and realise the progressives are actually right, make an argument. Corporate welfare is a very good phrase because you don't have to have a college education to understand what it is about. Corporate welfare. I know what corporations are. I know what welfare is. Corporate welfare doesn't sound good. Okay, duh. Anyway, while I'm shuffling, before we get to Alex Baldwin, now in Australia we have states, and the head of the states are called premiers. So it's a bit more like the Canadian system, and premiers have huge power, like the governors in the US. The Premier of New South Wales, which is where Sydney is, New South Wales, he fell into the job accidentally. His predecessor was proven to be corrupt, so he got the job. Nice. The man is a right-wing Catholic, not just a going to Mass on Sunday Catholic. How can we help the poor and the downtrodden? No. Uberite, 7 kids. I'm sorry, who has 7 kids in the modern world? Anyway, he's in his mid-40s. Photos have emerged of his 21st birthday party where he was dressed as adult Hitler. Do these people never learn? Right? Shocking. Okay, where were we? Just give me a second. Right, okay. Now, yes, I'm going to have a little mini look at Jack Smith again, because after the finding of the documents, regardless of how they got there, I'm not going there. It's not good for the case against the Yeti and the documents. I want to know, will Jack Smith stay the course on that investigation? Because according to Slate magazine, he has staff twice the size of the Mueller investigation, and they had huge numbers. So will he delegate that? I think I looked at last time and the answer was he will delegate it, but will he be passionate about it is the question. Or will he focus on the other, which is impeding the peaceful transfer of power? So let's have a little update on Jack Smith. Little update, then we'll do Alex Baldwin. And Michigan. Just seeing how Jack's traveling. He's been issuing subpoenas. The Hierophant, I am thrilled. Judgment, oh, bless. No, I don't know what the nostalgia card is about. He's got a plan. He's got a plan. Almost forgot Michigan. Okay, let's whip through this. Hierophant, government, law and order, backed up by judgment. So he's on the case. Knight of Wands, he's got the energy, he's got the focus, he's got the determination. The somewhat mysterious card, the outlier, the Six of Cups. I think there's an element of regret that this issue happened. I think he was just about, he'd done all the work. His people had done all the work. They would just had this slam dunk. Now they're going, oh. Okay, I think that's what that card's about. And he's got a new strategy. So I think he will pursue it with his team. Now, the reading I almost forgot is massively important. Now, there's a lawsuit in Michigan, and it's being brought by the real electors against the false electors. Because remember, it got lost in all the January 6th business, but I'm sure you haven't forgotten. They actually fraudulently presented, you know, on fake letterhead and the whole thing, this is Michigan's votes. I mean, this is deep banana republic stuff. Illegal, corrupt, and absolutely indefensible. And I'm thrilled that this lawsuit is going ahead because it's around fraud and conspiracy. Love the C word, don't we here? Okay. I really want to have a look at this. The lawsuit in Michigan against the false electors. Lawsuit against false electors. Oh, intéressant. Okay, first of all, Page of Pentacles, a message about money. Oh, fancy that. Some money may have been involved. Oh, I'm scandalized. Boom, boom, boom. Incoming. Look out. Another page. This is people speaking up, right? This is people. Conspiracies involve numbers of people by definition. I think, you know, this is the younger ones, the equivalent of the Cassidy Hutchinson. They mightn't be the actual fake electors, but they're the people who did the paperwork. They could be the administrative staff who was asked to forge the letterhead. Pages are young. It's like that. That's going to be the killer testimony. They're withdrawing into themselves. I think this is the legal eagles behind the scenes, trying to minimize the damage for their clients, looking for a way out with the light. But alas, the devil, they are chained to this story. They are part of the story of American history of stealing an election. I'm loving these cards. Gorgeousness. Okay, now on to Alex Baldwin. Now, this was his show. He was the producer as well as the actor. Everything we're hearing is about taking financial shortcuts, right? And there's been criticism. Some crew had already walked off because of safety issues, not gun safety issues, safety issues. He got the armourer cheap. Her father used to be an armourer, apparently, in big films. So we'll employ his daughter, even though she's 12 and, you know, isn't the best in the business. She's cheap. Well, worse, he's saying he didn't pull the trigger. I'm sorry. Man up, admit it, and grovel. He's saying he didn't pull it. The fairies did it. Okay. Right, this sort of stuff. Alec's extremely disappointed in you, pet. What's going to happen in the Alex Baldwin case as it goes forward? So he's been charged with involuntary manslaughter. Oh, God. Don't have to go far with this one. Look, he gets the tower. The judgment will come down on him. He could get that jail time. He could get jail time. Now, the celebration card at the end, I think, is, because this isn't something where anyone wins except the family and friends of the woman who was killed. And don't forget, someone else, the bullet hit someone else in the shoulder before it killed the cinematographer. So I think this is a legal celebration. I don't think it's literally the family being so, it's just a decent outcome, but it is going to ruin him, I suspect. If he manned up and admitted to it, it could have gone better in the long run. All right, food for thought. I have to go because I'm on in 15 minutes with Hogarth and Lady G. So will you please go over to Hogarth's channel, Hogarth's Astrology, and we'll be live. So I'll see you real soon. Bye.